Hey everybody. So this is the first episode of Burning Gas. It's a much longer format kind of show that happens at the end of the week, Friday, Saturday. Just talk about what happened, and it's more opinionated. No real topics, just kind of going anywhere. NFTs, personal life. We have Tropo on the show today, who is a good friend of mine, and he'll be a returning guest on a weekly basis. We get into a lot of very interesting topics, also share some personal stories, and I hope you guys, take the time to listen to at least some of this. There's some really interesting content that hopefully will, give you a little bit better look into personal lives and who the people behind some of these avatars are. So with that said, I hope you enjoy it, and catch you on the next one. Okay, so what's up, everybody? I'm Hunter, and today we're joined with tropoFarmer. This is gonna be. Did you just crack a beer?
Well, so I cracked the beer the first time, and then we had to we had to re-record. So I felt like I had to crack a beer again.
Okay, yeah, he's on his second beer apparently. So this is gonna get interesting.
The first one's still there. I just had
to crack a second one.
I wanted to interrupt your.
This is gonna be a great time. This is gonna be an absolute great time. But yeah, this is gonna be a recurring segment with me and Tropo where we just take opinionated stances on what's going on, recap. And I was mentioning to Tropo before, we could be joined by a special guest. I'm not going to say who. It's a big surprise. If they do join, my mind would be blown. It's probably a less than 1% chance.
Is it Denise Austin?
You know what? I DM'd this person, and they DM'd me back, and they said, you know what? I might. It sounds awesome. I wanna get out there and talk, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Are you familiar with Denise Austin? You're probably too young for Denise.
No, yeah.
Do you know? Do you know who that is?
No, this is gonna show my age really, really quickly.
I mean, your face shows your age.
Yeah.
So Denise Austin was this workout person, and I would stay up. I was like a night owl, and I would stay up really late. And then she had a workout show that would come on. It was on like not cable access, but similar, like at the late night. It was like 4 a.m. and she would do a workout show, and it was so hot. And I was like 12, and I was like, whoa. That was like my first exposure to anything erotic at all. So
I missed that, unfortunately. It sounds like it was a great time, though.
She still looks great. I think she's still doing her thing. I mean, that's
how old is she now?
Gotta be like 60.
Oh, okay. Well,
but you know what? Like a lifetime of eating well and fitness, it makes a difference.
Yeah, you still look well. Still got it. Still got it.
So last time when we recorded that we had to scratch, you were praising me, and I noticed that you didn't praise me this time.
I'll give it to you. If you really need it, if your ego needs it that much, I'll give it to you. I was saying that Tropo is getting kind of famous now for his hot takes, especially his stance on Meebits, and the fact that he will never let Beanie say something without taking a stance on it, either agreeing or not agreeing. There's no middle ground. It's either like, yes, you're correct, or you're a fucking idiot. There is no middle ground.
No, when I see a Beanie comments, there's like a flow that happens in my mind about how to respond to it. And it's like Terminator, where I scan the comments for potential inaccuracies and then hone in on them. And I think is what he's saying true? Is it factually accurate? If it's not, then that's
you agree with the pickle comments today?
Yeah, I do. I think I do.
So you think the pickles have legs potentially?
I don't know. I think I think anything can have legs if people are passionate enough about it. It could be a pickle, it could be an alien, it could be a God forbid a meebit, anything.
The day meebits have legs their legs have a use besides just looking at them. That'll be the day. That'll be the day.
I'll like honestly, like I as much as I hate Meebits, uh I guess I don't hate the Meebit themselves. I hate Larva Labs for releasing Meebits. So I guess there's some distinction there.
Well, I mean, we just saw Bored Ape Yacht Club do essentially exactly what Larva Labs did, but 1,000 times better and got way more cultural credit for what they just did the exact opposite of what Larva Labs did. And he's like, yes, like somebody did it correctly.
Dude, imagine if Bored Apes was like, everybody gets a dog. We also have 10,000 more dogs. Those will cost you $8,500. Like, you'd be like, well,
I mean, as a holder, like, and now I get it, because before I didn't have a Punk, I didn't have a Glyph. I was like, all right, I'll buy a Meebit, like it'll appreciate and I like it. But now as like a holder, I'm like, okay, awesome. I would totally take something for free, but what is that going to do to the market? And we see what's actually happening. Like the prices for these things are high already. They're like 0.8 ETH.
Yeah. And people are talking and like speculating like, what's it going to mean for the price of apes, and if you buy an ape now and it's the dog hasn't been minted, right? That's basically a discount currently of like 0.75 ETH off the price. Who knows what the fuck it'll be when this comes out. When is this going to come out? You turned around that Josh interview
7 days.
Pretty quickly.
They're gonna release everything in 7 days.
No. When's this coming out? This interview?
Oh, I'm gonna put this together probably tonight and like either release it tonight or tomorrow on the 19th.
Yeah, I recommend tonight.
Yeah,
because then my comments will be more timely.
Okay, yeah, we'll push this out immediately then.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like I don't know, I love apes. I love the peeps. I love the developers.
What do you not like besides Meebits? What are you like? You look at and you want to punch a wall, like just gets you going.
Yetis, like basically anything that.
Why do you hit Yetis were executed flawlessly?
In terms of like stealing money, yes.
I've talked to some people that have claimed that it was 1,000% just like a money laundering scheme where somebody's like, yeah, I'll do, generative art and I'll just buy back all this money and then go be able to be like, look how I made the money. Like it.
I don't know. That seems like
I've heard just the wildest theories lately on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I always point to the website. And like my stink detector just goes off immediately.
Oh, so your background is in software, so you can easily look at something and be like, all right, these guys know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. It's quality. It's not quality.
Yeah, well, I'm also like a human with eyes, also, and that also helps me determine if something is shitty or not.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah, it's like. I don't know. Like, granted, there's work put into Super Yetis, but then you look at how much they're asking for.
Right.
Is that appropriate for what they're delivering? And the answer is fuck no. but like, I look at their site and like, the best part is the bottom of it. There's like this utility section. like it's basically like, here's what you can do with your ape that you pay 0.1 or 0.2, God forbid, ETH for. And it's like the smallest of blurbs on it's like the very, very last.
Wait, I'm going to pull this up.
We go to superyeti.co. The very last text is the utility part, which should be the first part, in my opinion. Because you're buying this thing and the art's shitty. So you're not buying it for the art. What else are you buying it for besides to like flim flam people with?
Right.
That's what I did. But like it says utility. Super Yetis are much more than an NFT. They are bringing back our childhood dreams to create a decentralized world of the Yetiverse on the blockchain to build, play, and earn. I read that. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, my childhood dreams didn't involve the Yetiverse.
They didn't? Oh, you had a weird childhood then. Like,
Finally, somebody's making the Yetiverse.
yeah, exactly. What every kid was, brought up on Yetiverse. And if you
When are
went
they
to
gonna make the Yetiverse?
elementary school where they didn't teach you about the Yetiverse, I'm sorry, you were sheltered. You missed out.
Yetiverse.
The Yetiverse. I mean, and
Uh,
as somebody like I read that and like I just see like, oh, okay, my like shit detector's going off. And there's been like projects like that. Like even like some of these like, and now we're getting like DeFi, but like you can read some of these white papers, like read the websites, and you're just like, okay, like
yeah.
this is a scam. Like this is like the minimal effort possible to be put into a project.
I will say that Yetis is probably not the minimal effort possible.
No, it's
Like,
what do you think the minimal is? Like the least effort put into a project you've seen so far.
well, I think it's Yetiverse, whatever the fuck it's called. But like, but I will say that like by that I mean there's still a degree of effort that is greater than what I would consider the bare minimum.
Like copy paste and rename.
Yeah. So like, there's still effort put in. I just don't think that the price that they're asking for is commensurate to that effort.
Gotcha.
So if these were like $5, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like
It might be still like five. Yeah. If I'm loaded like $5 laying around, I'm like, all right, I'll buy a Yeti.
I would buy a Yeti for $5. Maybe, probably not, but maybe.
What are they going for right now?
I don't know. It just depresses me to think about. And like, I
you're gonna love this. 0.04 ETH is the floor right now.
Ooh, God. You've depressed me. My mood has just plummeted.
But on the other hand, Bored Ape Kennel Club is pushing 0.75 ETH right now.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell knows what that'll like. It's just so cool, man. Like people were expecting this surprise.
What did you think it was before? Because I thought it was going to be something related to the metaverse. I thought it would be some announcement that.
No, I literally had no idea.
You had no idea.
No clue. Like I didn't think it would be. They said it wouldn't be partner related, so I figured that rules out anything metaverse related because they're not going to build their own metaverse. But I don't know. I guess I had no. I didn't even speculate. It's like some things like I just don't even expend the brain power speculating on because there's so few clues that it's not worth it.
Right.
My precious brain power.
All that remains after reading through NFT Twitter.
I gotta save that to make penis jokes, so it's like precious commodity.
And you're like getting known as like the penis guy on NFT Twitter. It's
ironic because I have basically no penis, so like it's ironic that I'm the penis guy.
I mean, hey, at least you're honest. Like there's some folks just be like, yeah, it's a shrine to the dynasty that I have.
Yeah, no, it was
but you're still so. For those who don't know, Tropo has amassed a collection of penis NFTs. He's going to have a gallery of them at some point. He's got Fuck Render on board. He's loaning one of his to Tropo. The one you're waiting on still though is Beeple's. Correct.
I would if somehow Beeple would mint Dick Milking Factory, which is a great piece. If you could just put it in your show notes or whatever, if you have show notes. Dick Milking Factory. It's so awesome. He did this interview with like CNN or something, and in the background was Dick Milking Factory.
Wait, it's in the interview?
Yeah. It was televised, and they didn't even like realize what it was. I mean, it's hard to tell. when it's on the a computer screen behind him and whatnot. But like,
Right.
it's funny. Like it's great how he's like just trolling people like
Oh,
that.
I know. I watched the interview. He trolled the entire time, which was amazing. Like, he's a funny guy. Like, he's out there.
Yeah, he lives near where my wife and kids are out of town right now, and they're kind of near where he lives in like you know uh Wisconsin.
Did
It's
you
like
did
his
you send them off with like a photo of what people looks like? Like,
famous
if you run
man.
into this man, ask him for a photo of like of his penis. That's what you need to ask him. Like,
Jimmy.eth was like, he told me to stalk Beeple with a dildo helmet, and I don't know what that's referencing. So that was funny.
all right, Jimmy might need to clarify that one. Like,
I'm like, I don't even have a dildo helmet. Like,
he might have assumed you did just based on your fascinate. Like,
that's fair. That's fair.
he was like, I'm gonna tell him to stop people with a dildo helmet. And he's like, which one do I pick? Like, I have so many to choose from, Jimmy. Like, act like it's such an easy choice.
Easy choice, Jimmy. Yeah, yeah. You come down here and pick from all these dildo helmets.
I like Jimmy. Jimmy is one of those people that doesn't stir shit up, but always has like, I love his attitude. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he seems like a realist, but also a proponent of like innovation.
Yeah.
Like um the day that Meebit exploit came out, where like um Nietzsche was like minting everything to like hit the alien.
Right.
I was like at the park. I was at a playground reading about it on Discord. And I was like, well, this is awesome. Because it's like more fodder for my anti-Meebit tirade.
Yeah, you're
And,
just sitting there like, come on, keep going, keep going, keep going.
and he was ranting in Discord about it. And like, what he was saying was true. It's like, obviously he has an interest in innovating, right? Like he's got a company that's
Right.
doing that.
Nameless and NFT 42.
Yeah, so it's like it's important, I think, to call out when big companies who are soliciting millions of dollars are doing things
Tens of million, like $80 million.
Yeah. 80, yeah. When you're soliciting $85 million, like you should be putting a lot of thought behind what you're producing and making
Right.
sure that it's not just good for today, but like future proofing it as best you can.
Yeah.
So I think that was his point. I agreed with all that for sure.
Yeah. Larva Labs has had I think a rough time here. And I was actually in for a meeting yesterday with Sao Paulo Institute of Art. It was like a meeting with traditional art buyers and a couple digital people, and then Pablo Freire, who's out of Miami, Florida, who's a whale. I'll put it out there. He buys a lot. And I asked, like, he was like talking, oh, I've seen nothing but bad at Larva Labs. Like, I don't like what I see of punks. I don't like what I see of Meebits. And I was like, yeah, like Tropo would love you. Like, I need to introduce you guys.
Dude, I not to derail this, but like I love Brazilian artists. Like I'm a big collector on hen, and it just seems like I don't know if it originated in Brazil or what, but like there's just a dearth. Is that the right word? Dearth?
Girth, yeah, a breath.
Breath. Is that the antonym that I'm looking for?
Yeah, I think
whatever it is. There's a bunch. It's like a bunch of talented artists on there from Brazil. Particularly my man Fiedler, who's the best. He's amazing. Do you have any Fiedler art?
Hen is probably like the highest quality per dollar you can get right now in the NFT space.
Like still, like even after it's kind of blown up a bit. I started back in like March. I just went to the Discord and like just sat around. Like that's usually what I do is I find a project, I look for the Discord icon, click on it, join, see what's doing, kind of catch the vibe in there.
Right.
But that was like really bopping already. And then you just look at the feed, like there's channels for people sharing their art. There's like giveaways, like there was tons of giveaways. Like I've collected an assload of like really sweet art for 0 Tez, just because people are trying to trade amongst each other and
Right.
make connections and whatnot and get exposed to new. Excuse me, Hunter. My God, that's unprofessional.
Yeah, you just ruined your professional stint. Like you were being so professional up until this point. Everything on Twitter's been professional, and then you just throw it down the drain right there. It's all over.
Oh God. No, but like it's crazy. Like you can spend $20 and get like 20 awesome pieces. It's ridiculous.
And it also seems like trading there is a way bigger thing than on like OpenSea. Like we don't see a lot of trading happening. And when we do see a trade happen, it's for like a Fidenza for a Punk or a Punk comic for a Bored Ape Yacht Club. Which now that trade actually by Tenacious, looking like a god tier trade right now, like just god tier.
Yeah, but yeah, there's like, I love that platform, and like I started collecting in March, like I said, and I spent, I don't know, like a couple $100 maybe, and like accumulated a ton of stuff. And I was like, oh shit, I ran out of Tez. And then I basically like took what I was profiting from ETH and converting it to Tez and buying stuff on Hen. So like, even though I've been trading and flipping and whatnot on ETH, I don't have a lot of ETH left because I've been using it to buy art on Hen, which makes me feel fine. Like I'm like, that to me seems like a great thing. I'm not doing this as a full-time job. Like I like,
you're just you're having fun with it. It's not
and it just feels good to be able to like take those profits and be able to support other people with it. So that to me is why Hen is like so cool. It's just, as a collector, it goes really far. Like you think about like how much $100, right, could go to somebody who's like in Brazil, and they're like, I don't know the average salary, but like, for some of these artists, like that's a significant amount of money per month, right? Could like make a decent difference. So
yeah, like the average for like the lower class in Brazil monthly income, and I hope I get this right because my girlfriend listens to this and I get it wrong, I'm gonna get an earful. Is
she's Brazilian?
She's Brazilian. I think like it's like $200. It's like the equivalent when you convert the reals to dollars. It's like $200 a month is like, like that's considered good. So yeah, I've seen a lot of those comments popping up where some of these like third world countries and the countries with like very poor people, but they're very good artists. This is changing their lives. Like this entire concept of NFTs and digital art, and now there's a serious market with tens and hundreds of millions of dollars being exchanged on a weekly and monthly basis. It's changing people's lives.
Yeah, that's so like, I mean, my life has
changed mine probably for the worse because I have no money anymore. But
well, I started with no money, so like if I have no money at the end, I'm fine.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I'm back where I started. Like,
well, I started with like $500, and I bought Street Fighter NFTs.
Oh, off of what was that, Wax?
Yeah, it was on Wax.
Yeah.
And
was that the first NFT you got into? Was the Street Fighters?
No, it was like Top Shot.
Okay.
But then I started like, I found the One Discord. The One is the name of it, from Moon Overlord, like his Discord. And it basically like changed the game for me, because like just getting exposed to people from there and like projects,
right?
And like there's an arts channel in there, and I remember one day I was like sometime in like February, and like Xcopy posted a message, like, because he had just sold a right click save as guy for like 150 grand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And his message was like, well, I guess the best time to buy my art was yesterday. Which is like kind of funny. And I looked at it and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. Like I didn't know who the hell X Copy was.
Right.
And I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I showed my wife and she's like, wait, somebody paid 150 grand for that? I'm like, yeah. But like it kind of made sense to me. But like it was crazy amount. But it's like I'm a technologist and futurist, so like and a collector and a flipper and a handsome man and
I'll
well
take your word
endowed
for it. I will take your
also.
word for it.
So like, it it was crazy, but it made sense. And yeah, I think I reacted with like a thumbs up, it's like
Yeah, congrats on your 150K, man.
I was
Nice.
like, whoa, that's cool. And then later I find out like, oh, that's like the most famous crypto artist and like
Yeah. Yeah,
so like,
seriously though, like one of the most he'll be collectible for forever.
yes, yeah. But like that kind of struck me as like how cool all this is, especially in Discord. Like I think so much activity is happening in Discord.
Yeah, if it's not on Twitter, it's happening on Discord. If it's not happening in either of those two places,
I don't know.
congrats. Like you're plugged into something.
Yeah.
Like you stumbled into some sort of fucking gold mine. If you're like getting real alpha outside of Twitter or Discord, just congrats.
Yeah. Yeah. But like it was just cool. Like at that moment I kind of realized that the connections that you could make and the access to people like that.
Yeah.
And like I bought this when I accumulated like 1 ETH, which is a lot of money. I was like, I went to Super Rare and I was like, I want to get a piece of fine art, because I've never owned a piece of fine art, like a one of one thing. I thought like this is really cool. So I bought something from Christopher Rutledge of a guy.
Oh yeah.
It's called hand washing technique. And it's basically like a floppy. If I had my camera on, I'd demonstrate, but it's like a guy with washing his, not a guy, but like arms washing.
Right. It's the arms. Yeah.
Like flopping around. And like at the time it was, we're still going through a lot of coronavirus shit and like hand washing. And that year, like
You there, Tropo?
yeah, I'm just getting a little emotional. Like this.
Yeah. It was a tough year.
No, well, like, so my son, like, he ended up getting like OCD about washing his hands, right? Because like we're like, oh, you gotta wash your hands,
Right.
and all that shit. So he just do it like a lot, and his hands would get like kind of red and sore and bleeding and stuff. And
Right. Like rash.
got like, and like beyond that, like it got like pretty bad, right?
Right.
So yeah, we ended up like getting him in touch with a great like child psychologist or therapist, and like he's like doing great now. Like he's like I had OCD, like I still do, I guess, but like so seeing him go through that like kind of pained me.
Yeah.
He was his dad, so that piece of like the hand washing, like
It's got like insanely sentimental
yeah,
value to you.
yeah, it was
And
like personal, but like because he had gone through it, like when I acquired that, like he had gone through that that process of like being afflicted by it and seeking help and improving himself and getting better. So like to me, that particular piece kind of really was personal to me for that reason.
right.
So
Yeah.
I was able to collect it, and then when I got into the hen Discord, I just posted like, hey, what's up? Like my first message. And I like one of the first replies was the artist of that piece. Like Christopher Rutledge was in there.
Right.
And I got to tell him that story. and he was really moved by it. And it was like really cool for me to be able to connect in that way to the artist, to like actually made the piece, and who for him to hear it from me,
Right.
person who acquired that one of one art that he made, and he was really touched by that, and I just thought that was like so cool, and like that was one of the other moments where I kind of realized that this community and like what we all have together here is really special. Like it sounds trite, but like it is like so cool, like how much access we have to each other,
Yeah.
for better or worse. But
Yeah. No, this is, I mean, one, that's a piece that you'll never sell. And
no,
two,
well,
like,
actually, I do have it listed right now, I think.
come on, Tropo. But like, again, none of this would have happened.
Hang on, dude. I got to delist. Do I have it listed? I hope I don't. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, like this never like the only reason like we're connecting with all these people and like having these like amazing like connections of art and like people around the world is because of blockchain, and it's just amazing. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, that is a fascinating story. I'm glad your son is doing well now, and thank you for sharing that. I mean, that's a very emotional thing.
Yeah, he's the best. I'm also emotional because they're away right now. They're out of town stalking
Right.
people with their dildo helmets. So that's why I just put down an entire pizza without a plate. And cracking 2 beers.
So he ordered pizza, cracked some beers, and he's just like, all right. And then what do? You go out and you tweet, and immediately you're retweeted by Pranksy. Not for the first time, but I mean, I look at my Twitter and I look, and it's Tropo with like 90 retweets, 400 like likes, and Pranksy's talking to you.
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
You know who I haven't seen today, like, or at least since like the very early morning, like 9 a.m. is Beanie.
Yeah. What's he up to?
I don't know. When he gets quiet, I get nervous. Like
I imagine this is like the one day of the month that he has to actually spend time with his, like if he has a family, and like this is maybe the time that he has to actually spend with them.
yeah,
Like Beanie, no,
he like
going on the phone today.
like I see him walking down the stairs. He like walks in the living room. His like wife and like maybe he has 2 kids. They're sitting there and they're like, "Papa, where have you been?" Like he's like, "All right, like you guys get 24 hours, and then it's back to the shit posting." But
Yeah, and he carries like he's got like a big like a clock around his neck, like Flavor Flav. It's a countdown to the time when he can go back to shit posting.
Oh God. Oh God.
Hey, where's our guest? Where's our special guest?
I don't know. I'm disappointed. They didn't promise me anything. They just said I would love to talk.
Can we shame them for not coming?
I can't shame this person. They would kill me.
Oh.
I do promise this though. I'm going to convince them to join at some point. It'll happen.
Is it Benjamin Netanyahu?
No, it's
Okay.
even better than that. It's even better than that.
Sammy Sosa?
Who okay, I'll ask you this. Who would be your favorite guest to have on if you could just pick anybody that is a real fiction, like a real non-fictional person?
Well, like Abraham Lincoln, like that kind of thing. Like,
well, that's a live tropo. What are we gonna do? Fucking like get a Ouija board and be like, all right, here comes Abraham Lincoln.
Like, I think it'd be Beanie. I really do.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just fascinated. Like, I feel like we would, at least based on chat, like we've chatted privately a little bit, and we seem to vibe pretty well. So I feel like, he could have some interesting stories that I would find enjoyable.
If Beanie was here and I had some, I had some wine or beer with me, and I know you're drink, I feel like that would very quickly get out of hand. That conversation.
I don't think that would just wouldn't get released. I think there would just be too much.
Yeah, it would be one of those episodes where you record it and it's like that was great, but like that cannot like delete that. Like delete that.
Uh,
Oh my God. Well, what else is there going on in NFT world right now that we can talk about?
dude, I don't know. It's like I don't
It was
know.
just
It's
like
too
this
much.
week was so crazy. Like absolutely
It's too much for me. It's just like I almost went to the hospital. Like I literally almost went to the hospital back in whatever February when I was minting my Street Fighter because these Street Fighter NFTs were like you mint them. It was like a pretty cool system. It hasn't really been done much like that. I think because of like gas costs and whatnot. But
right.
basically, you buy these packs and they have cards, and the order that they're opened in is the mint number. And then what you can do is combine two cards of the same level to produce like the next level.
Right.
So they had like these burn cards, and you combine them with like a class card, they called it, or whatever it was, like a. So I had like these. I opened up some of these ultra rare ones, like the it was like 1% chance to get this base version of this legendary Street Fighter character,
Right.
and then you combine that with a regular card, and then it upgrades to level 2 and so on. So like the first person to get to level 5, the first person to get to the next level would be number 1 of that level.
Gotcha.
So it's basically a race to get to number 1 of the power level 5. So it was like insane, like just craziness. Like I hadn't experienced anything like that before. Just like
Like that,
that,
like raw, like that race of
yeah, like just the crazy adrenaline, trying to get like number 1, and I ended up getting like number 1 in like a lot of different cards, and
right.
even some of the ones that were the legendary ultra rare ones, which is kind of what kickstarted my ability to buy into other projects, because I ended
Right.
up selling those for like a decent chunk of change. Got some capital to work in other things, kind of have accumulated from there. But yeah, my goal was to pay for a trip to Disney World for my family. That was my goal when getting into the to NFTs. And I wasn't there. My problem is I keep buying apes.
Wait, how many apes do you have?
Not that many, like five or
Like,
six.
okay, 5. Yeah.
But like, I'm like, I'm like, oh man, I'm like doing well. Like I've like my threshold was like 10 grand, because I feel like for 10 grand for a family of 4, you can get like an insane trip to
Right.
Disney. Like even that is a lot, but like still, like that's a nice target. But I got over it, and then I like bought some more apes, and I was like, fuck, now I'm under my target. But now if I sell the apes, I'll be up again.
Well, now that you have the dogs with the
Yeah,
apes,
exactly.
I mean, technically, you could just sell all the dogs or 4 of the dogs, and
Yeah,
that would
that's
be
true.
that would be close.
I think I could just sell like a small portion of my hen collection, and I would also pay for it.
Or you
But I
could,
don't, I don't know. I like collecting things as well. I don't like holding on to like anus NFTs. So like if something's like Yetis, like I had a couple of those for a brief period and sold for like
how bad did that hurt?
to sell them.
Yeah, did you, I'm assuming you sold them for a loss.
No, for profit.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, that's impressive.
I wouldn't sell anything for a loss. I don't think.
Uh, I have, I regret them.
What was it?
Um, I minted a lot of me bits off the
Uh-oh.
rip.
Holy shit.
I think I was like 60, I was like 85 grand deep in me bits.
What?
Yeah,
Where do you have this money?
I don't know.
What the hell?
Um,
What's going on in your life?
and
Are you
I remember I
laundering?
was like sitting there, I was like, yeah, and I minted all, I mean, not a single, they're all just like floor shit. And I was like sitting there, I was like, there's no way. Like I literally just minted like 8 of them and I got nothing, like nothing, like not even like a hoodie. Um, I'm like sitting there, I was like chatting with some people and I was like, what do you think I do? And one person replied back to me, they're like, just dump them, right? Like dump them. and I think I sold some for like 3 and some for like 3.2. But like
Yeah,
the last couple, I mean, the ones that like just nobody wanted were like 1.9, 1.8. I got rid of them. They would probably be worth like 0.8 right now.
I don't know. Like I hope that that value gets recovered somehow.
I think it does. I think not soon though. I think it's like 2022 kind of like, oh, like they're
Oh,
back.
they're gonna
Like
say 20 years, and I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I think maybe 2022. We'll see. If not, I mean, it could be 2, 3 years off. Um, and it's one of those like projects where like crypto punks sat around for not a lot of money for forever, and then all of a sudden just ripped. It
No,
could
that's
be what we
no,
see happen
that
with
won't
Meebit.
happen. That 100% won't happen.
You
How
don't
would
think
that
so?
happen? How would that happen for Meebits? That was true because like nothing else was going on, right? You had crypto kitties basically, right? Was the kind of the
I think Meebits can go like way low. I think you could see Meebits at like zero point 0.4 Ethereum. I generally believe that. Like I think they get to a point where it's like, what's the point of having it? Like there is zero. There has been zero for like the last year, like use of them. Besides, like you can 3D print
yeah.
them. Like congrats, like that has a whole lot of value to it.
Oh, by the way, hey, breaking news. 2.1 ETH floor for apes. Breaking news.
Whoa. Okay. And like what, 4 hours ago, that was 1.7.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I
wild.
guess I
And
guess
I bet you
dogs
like,
didn't
and that
hurt.
floor probably is all apes that have used the been minted for the dogs.
It could be. I don't know. Yeah, probably. Because I think if you're higher than that, you're getting a deal, right?
Yeah.
I really like that they provided that utility. Like I think Gargamel in Discord was like, people can find this out through the contract if these things have been minted or not. But who's going to do that, right? Except for the people who are trying to
Like 1% of
exploit
people.
other people, right?
Yeah.
So let's make it apparent. Let's build it in to be easy enough for somebody to check if this thing has been, punched or not. Kind of like with like VFriends, right? It's like you have this admission or these things that are like used for utility. When that redemption happens, that gets
You need to know, like it needs to be
updated.
very clear that it's happened.
Yeah, but they put that into the project, right? So like the product itself will indicate. I don't know how that happens. I'm sure like
I think
in the
there's going to be like
metadata.
a punch on the bottom or something.
Yeah, but
Or
it's got to be like in the metadata, right? Of like
yeah,
this thing has been redeemed X number of times, whatever the utility of that particular thing is. Like
exactly.
if it's like the Hangout Hawk, where it's like you get 5 hangouts, it's apparent if all 5 are still redeemable, or maybe 2 of them are, and that lessens the value, but still got a little bit, right? So I think that if you're providing something that has utility like that, it's super important to make that apparent to people who are buying it. Otherwise, you just risk them getting kind of fucked over and then just get mad at you.
Right. Yeah. Did you buy VFriend?
No, I couldn't afford it.
Oh,
I was buying penis art.
I hope somewhere out there there's like a VaynerMedia employee who just heard that and they're like
Punctual penis or something.
Andy,
Right?
AJ, Gary. Like if somebody ends up listening this far into this from Vayner and they listen, that would make my day. Just for them to be like, great, like they made a choice. Like,
No, I think even if I had the ETH, I wouldn't have bought one because I don't think I would go to VCon at that
okay,
point.
and that's
But
a
I think
huge
now,
part of it,
but I think now I would,
right?
like because I've seen, Gary has supported his project like crazy as he should because he's asking for a lot of money, right? Like that's how people should behave who are asking for a lot of money. And granted, he's insane about it and probably does it better than anybody else will. But still, like those are actions that people should emulate when you're asking for, I don't know what the market cap was at launch, but I think it was like what, tens of millions, right?
Yeah, I I want to say they did $25 million. I don't
Yeah.
remember. I want to say it's like 20. I think they did 25 off the rip.
I just want to like go on a little tirade about VFriends. Maybe tirade's the wrong word, but like it got super shat on when it came out.
There's so many Gary haters out there who just don't like. And full disclosure, like I've followed Gary since like 2013. I consume his content. I like
Stalked him
him.
with your dildo helmet.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
I've walked through like Hudson Yards and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll run into Gary. That'd be cool. Like
Fucking
dildo hat
amazing.
on and everything. But like, there's so many people that hate on it just because they don't like. They see this guy. He wasn't part of the community. He did try to come in, but like they'll just people shit on that project, and it's unfortunate that it got as much hate as it did. But then we see people who like I invested $1 million in the project and I made 8 million off of it. Like that happened. Like a guy made $8 million off of flipping VFriends in the last
Yeah.
weeks.
But like the person who bought that is also gonna make money probably.
100%.
Because you get the word out. Like it's not like they're holding a bag of shit, right? It's not like this greater fool situation with like things that don't have value besides artistic, right? Like I
Right.
don't think anybody's gonna say that the art on VFriends is like, worth 3 ETH or whatever.
But there's so many other like values to it on
Yeah.
built on top of it and around it that it it was the closest thing. And you can tell that like Beanie and Gary talk because you can see so much of VFriends also in Punk's comic.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is nice to see that kind of achieve success, like not financially, but like just in terms of proving the doubters wrong, and
Oh
I
yeah.
think, I don't listen to everything Gary puts out, but like I think that is kind of his where he thrives, is like being in that position of like people doubting that you can succeed,
Yeah. Oh,
and like,
I 100% feel like when that didn't sell one right away, and when he got all
yeah,
the hate, he was just like,
yeah.
"Fuck you!" Like,
I
bring
was
it.
like, uh-oh.
Like this is just like it was just amping him up. I bet.
Yeah, he was like, we gotta fuck it. But even still, like, I don't even know if he really altered course maybe a whole lot, because he still had the vision for it and they kind of just kept executing on it. Like,
I don't think
I
he
don't know.
altered course. I think he just went like he dug even deeper. He's like, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
even hard. Like I'm gonna go even harder. Like we're staying the same thing, but instead of just getting like I forget who is gonna perform. Like I have a feeling he's gonna like go even deeper and be like, okay, this first one's gonna be like I'm gonna prove
Oh,
every
like the
fucker
Vcon.
out
Yeah.
there that
Oh
said
yeah,
don't buy Gary's project. Like I'm gonna make them wish they bought.
dude, the first Vcon is gonna be awesome.
It's it's gonna be wild. It's
Yeah.
gonna be one of those things. I mean, so I own a V friend. I'll
Which one?
definitely
What do you
get
got?
it.
What do you got?
I have a spectacular one of one. It is the Lava 5555 fan.
Huh?
So it's not an animal. It's just a guy holding a sign that says 5555, which is five is Gary's favorite number. 5555 has
I like
biblical
three.
meaning.
Three's my number. Three.
Um, so yeah, I don't even know. I did like some research on like, do I buy this or do I buy that? And I was gonna buy like 10 ETH worth of floors and then try to flip them. And I've made a lot of mistakes in the NFT space. I bought a hoodie Meebit right as the floor like just collapsed and
Dude,
there was
how do you
no
have all this
liquidity.
money? What is going on?
And
You've lost more money than I've earned in my entire lifetime
I
on me bits.
I'm not negative on me bits unless I sell
Oh,
this.
you're not.
What?
You're not negative?
No, I've
Oh,
I've I've managed to.
okay, cool.
But I'm sitting in a position with one right now, and the floor needs to drastically come back for me not to be underwater on me bits. Um, but yeah, I think the VFriends is just one of those projects where it was the highest quality thing out there besides like punks at that point. Like punks are just hot. Everybody wanted them. But
Yeah.
VeeFriends was just quality in my mind.
It like, yeah, it is. I don't it like I think it's a really great project. And like the reason I didn't make more of an effort to buy into it is like I didn't want to spend that amount of money to interact with Gary.
Right.
But like people do, right? Like somebody does and they can now.
Yeah, I was in their Discord and I was like, just hey, if anybody has questions, let me know. I had a guy who DM'd me and was like, hey, how do I use MetaMask to do this? Like I thought I bought it, but it's not through.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, send me what you're doing. And he was buying like 4 of these FaceTime fives where you get like 5 minutes with them. And I think what it was some crazy amount of money. I can't remember if it was 3 Ethereum per. He was buying like 4 of them. And I was trying to understand what he was doing. He's like, well, I run this business.
Right. Yeah. I
And
was gonna say it could be like a business kind of expense, right? Like
yeah, he
you,
was like, and I'm writing it off as a business expense. And those 5 minutes, if I can create X amount of value out of those 5 minutes, I'm positive on it.
and he probably will, like, you know.
Yeah. And he was like, we had like the most interesting conversation where he was like, yeah, like the first one, I'm going to ask this. The second one, I'm going to ask this. I'm going to do this off of those 2. And then I'll tell
Nice.
Gary
Yeah.
what happened on the third. He's like, had
Yeah.
this whole
That's cool.
plan. And he's like, and then the second year, I'm going to do this. And then the third year, I'm going to do this. Like he had it all planned out.
Yeah.
And I mean, Gary sold his time. Like he monetizes time and, access has a price to it. And there are so
Well,
many people that
yeah.
are buying just for the access to Gary. So,
But like that to me seems like money well spent, right?
yeah, it's like that's
particularly
a
with that
smart
guy.
allocation of money, I think, if you have like a plan for it. But then I'm sure there's people who are like, I just want to say hi to Gary. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, you get on the
there's
hangout,
nothing
you're
wrong
like,
with that, but
"Yeah."
like, you need to understand if you're not making positive value out of it, in that aspect, just be aware of the position you put yourself in. But
Excuse me. God, that was unprofessional.
I didn't even hear
Wow.
what happened.
I belched.
I'm used to it now.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to it, Drovo.
You just didn't even hear it. No,
Yeah.
but like I think what he and his company and all the people that supported that have created is like proof that you can use NFTs to monetize and provide real access and utility. And like maybe you don't want it with Gary, but maybe there's somebody you do want it for. And this is proof that, the platform will support that.
Right.
Like Ethereum and the site that he made and the back end that Nameless made will support those kinds of interactions. So
yeah,
like
Nameless is gonna have a lot of money coming their way, I think, with Gary's clients, and
yeah, right.
It's gonna be huge.
But like, what was I gonna say? I had a great point. I had like a fucking awesome point.
Your age is showing. You're starting to
go. No, it's just it is nice, right? Like I think people kind of don't consider VeeFriends as part of like the NFT space for whatever reason. I think it's because a lot of the people that are in it aren't native, like they're not in NFTs, they're not in crypto, but like I think
they're like from the marketing world and the entrepreneur world. They're not like on crypto Twitter, NFT Twitter.
Right.
Like, oh, like I can't wait for the next art blocks drop. Like they're just that's not the majority of their people.
That's cool. Like, isn't that all? I don't know. I think that's so cool.
And I think that's like the biggest like fuck you to like Gary has done to these haters is that like they're like, oh, you're so bad for the community. But then you look at it and you're like, yeah, Gary onboarded probably like 250,000 people into MetaMask, into like knowing what an NFT is. So like at the same time they're talking shit, but at the same time they're like, oh, like this is great. So many more people are learning. And like I was like,
yeah. And he did it like well too. Like I've been in the Discord for a while. Like I'm not active in it like I am with like Bored Apes, but like I see the kind of guidance that they were providing people. They were being smart with like they understood the amount of money that people are spending on this product, and they wanted to be mindful and provide like um, safeguards and guidance to make sure that they weren't going to lose it for some reason, right? Because it's like getting into crypto and like MetaMask and all that shit is like, it's crazy. Like it's, his audience, it's totally foreign to most of them, right? But it's like, I think he did a great job of getting people on, and that's evident in the amount of money that they earned.
Yeah, and I think they were delicate with the situation. Like, it's very easy to be like, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. But they were like, if you have any questions, any doubts, any issues, like, we'll help you. Like, it was very like white glove. We know this is different, new to you. We're going to do whatever it takes for you to, like, even if you don't buy, just to learn. Like, and I think also going back to like Bored Ape Yacht Club, giving value and not expecting like return is key in both those projects. Like, Bored Ape Yacht Club didn't need to do the dogs. Like, they didn't need to provide all these, opportunities to people. Same thing with VeeFriends. Like, they didn't have to like sit there. Like, it might not have sold out, but they didn't have to take care of everybody like they did. It's not expected in the space.
No, like something that I try to do in my marriage, and I have a highly successful marriage, by the way.
I'm not married, so
well, you said you had a girlfriend, so it'd be kind of weird if you also had a wife.
Sure, man.
No, but like I think if you make it your aim to please the other person, in this case like your partner, if you make it your aim to please them, then you will inevitably, provided you're not married to an absolute asshole, which may be the case for my wife, but like you will you will get more back in return than you've contributed to them, just by virtue of like your intent being to support and please the other person.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think with like VeeFriends, that's kind of what it was like. Granted, they're asking for a lot of money, but you know, they really made the effort to support and please their customers, which you should, because they are your customers.
Exactly.
And you got to put on a conference that's not cheap, right? Like, I don't think people realize the expenses of that. And he's not earning, Gary's not pocketing $30 million on this.
Right.
It's like he has to deliver.
Well, one, there's cap gain taxes on that Ethereum. So whatever that was, take 30% off the top. Ethereum also right now is really not doing too hot. I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, I know like the money's there. Like, they know if like it Ethereum goes to like $10, they can still pull off the conference. But like, you can't help but think like, you just got all this money. You have 3 years of a conference to throw. You have all this intellectual property development going on, and you open up and you look and you're like, Ethereum's down another 16% from a couple of days, like, a week and a half ago.
I think you just buy apes with that money, right?
Yeah. When he turned around and bought a lot, I think.
You buy apes, you buy mooncats, and then
he bought a zombie punk.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is his money. Like, he can do whatever he wants with it, as long as like he provides what he's promised to provide, which I know he will. But he turned around and was like, here are the market opportunities. I'm educated. I would bet my money that he apes into apes a little bit harder in the next week, or if he hasn't already. I don't, maybe it's an alt wallet out there that we haven't seen, but I'm sure he's being really strategic with the apes.
Dude, now. I put out a Twitter post about like, hey, mid to high level apes, there's a lot of opportunity here.
Right.
I actually got like a lot of DMs from people, and I was like, a lot of interest about like, I have like 10 ETH to spend. Like, what are good buys? And like, that seemed awesome to me. And like, that was a lot more people than I was expecting. Kind of took me up on that.
Yeah, I got like my first DM today from, and I'll shout it out, from Bees, which is, I think it's like SB Capital. They DM me, who I've been like going back and forth with about NFT stuff, and they're like, all right, do I buy this one? And I was just like, yeah, you do it. Like there's just, oh my God, so many people are finally like waking up and going, all right, it's time to join the family, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And before we go,
Yeah, we've been at this for a while, man.
before we go, I want to say Mooncats are great.
How many Mooncats do you own?
11.
Mooncat was my first NFT.
It's great,
Oh,
man.
outside of Top Shot.
Yeah. I yeah, I was around that morning when it came on. I saw a post from Moon Overlord talking about minting cats. I was like, oh, that seems cool. I just went to the site and like minted it and like
Oh,
it was
so you mint it like I bought mine in
yeah.
secondary, and I actually like that was the scariest experience for me because I met this guy on Discord, and then he taught me how. He was like walking me through how to use the contract to buy this cat from him.
Yeah, me too. It was like my first time directly interacting with the contract.
Yeah, and I was like trying to figure out how to use an ABI and like all that. And the funniest thing, and of course, like it's COVID, and I'm like with family. My brother was back from college, and I walk into the other room, and I was like, I just bought a digital guy, and I told them how much and like dollar value, and they all looked at me and they're like, Jesus Christ, like you need to go to the hospital, like.
Dude, what did they do when you told them how much you spent on me bits? Did they like just
Um,
drive off the cliff or what?
like family and like girlfriend, all like at
Did they
this
know?
point, like
Did they,
I've
know?
done some crazy shit in my life, like as far as like what I've bought and sold and all that, and like I think they're just like they're desensitized to it at this point. Uh, as long as I don't go broke and I can pay rent and what that, I think I don't. I think
Yeah.
nobody cares what I do at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm like. I don't hide my activity from my wife, but like, you know, as long as I don't take anything out of our savings account and occasionally put a meager amount into it, then
God, could you imagine having to tell your wife, like, yeah, I don't have, I spent all the savings on me bits, like,
well,
that would,
it is, it is important, right, to be transparent with your finances in a marriage.
yep,
But on the other hand, she's aware of what I'm doing, and she
right.
knows I might make some money and I might lose some money, and she kind of thinks it's like not real until it gets
Until you
sold.
take her to Disney and you're like, you see, like, it's
Well, until
real.
I like sell it and actually like put it in a bank account, whatever happens between then, she kind of doesn't care about because it's not, you know, like I've explained, like I sold a demon, right, from Goat. Wait, weren't we supposed to talk about ghosts tonight?
Yeah, he has not messaged me since that last one. We'll have to like get him the reply and then do a video on ghosts.
Yeah.
But
So I sold a ghost. I'm like, dude, I just made like I just sold this for like 6.5 ETH. And she's like, how much is an ETH? I'm like, I don't know, like $2,500. And she's like, whoa, she like, but then it's a big number. Like
right,
we're not like wealthy, and that's a lot of money. But on the other hand, like I'm like, okay, I could buy 5 apes for that money,
right.
and that's my degenerate mindset. But
And then,
like,
but those 5 apes around then were probably worth,
like they were like 1.5 or something at the time, or like,
that's
so
another 2.5 ETH if you sold those now that you could have probably
yeah. And I
per.
think she trusts me enough with like my flipping and research acumen to like not be concerned that I'm gonna lose it all. But if I did, it would be fine because like our financial situation isn't affected
Right.
in the end necessarily by it. But
As long as
yeah,
you can keep the house over your head, because you can't live in a penis NFT.
do it if I could. That would be so awesome. I want to live in dick milking factory.
That. Oh God.
Have you
Oh
seen that?
God.
You gotta look that up, man. Look up. Have you actually seen that piece?
I have seen that piece. Yeah. I think that
So
was it's funny because I've been trying to get some of like friends who are like into art, like serious art collectors into to NFTs. And I sent a Beeple link to one of this lady, and I was like, hey, like I know you guys buy art, like this is what I'm into, would totally like be down to explain like how it all works. And I sent the people link, and I think it was like it would always be like a featured image, like one of the latest ones he did. And I looked at it the next morning, and she replied, she's like, I don't get this, like what did you send me? And this lady, lady, I think had text girlfriend. My girlfriend's like, what the fuck did you send her? And I click on the link, and it's fucking milk, like the milk factory. And I was just like, oh fuck. Like I literally just sent this lady who's like, I've been very nice to, and I'm like, I just sent her a photo of penis. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Well, it's not a photo of penis.
it's a very suggestive
a digital
photo.
painting of a penis, several penis kind of silo looking things.
If anybody listening, again, if you've made it this far, congrats.
If you made it this far, like you got something's going on where you are
like DM, like if you made it this far, DM me, and like I'll send you something. Be like, hey, made it to the end. You owe me.
You owe me. Oh wait, breaking news. Hang on, before we go, breaking news. Franklin on Twitter just sold some airdropped bored dogs to afford his first CryptoPunk.
Holy shit.
So I think he did a trade with some quantity of dogs and a little bit of ETH to get a CryptoPunk.
That is insane.
Yeah, check out his Twitter. It's election day mad one. He's like a, he's got apes. He's got a bunch of apes. He's pretty active in the Ghosts Discord. Like I'd say very active. Election day mad one, the number one.
Damn, wow. What a trade.
Oh, yeah, I don't know the quantity of which, but like still, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
That's how you're gonna get your punk, dude.
So I've been going back and forth. I know D's picked one up, and he's holding it for me for 15 ETH. I'm gonna need a little bit of time because I don't want to like one blow everything, or be in over my head too far on NFTs. And also with ETH going down right now, I think I'm trying to stay a little liquid so I can either leverage up through like Flea and 2x stuff. We'll see though. It's probably within the next month or two though. I'll pick up a punk.
I do. Yeah, I do. I don't really want one that much, but like, I get it.
But I've gotten more FUD on punks in the last 3 days than I think I've ever gotten when I've like talked to people like, hey, I'm thinking of buying one. I've had people just come out and tell me like, you're being tricked. Like, don't do it.
Tricked.
Like you're like, they're like, you're following the hype, and like they're just because they're like the first, and like,
no, they're not.
They're not the first. I know they're like the 6th or the 7th or 5th. Like they're not the first.
They're the first popular.
They're the first popular collective.
That's the designation that I've bequeathed.
Yeah,
it seems to make sense. Like I do like punks a lot, and I get it. Like I don't think you're being tricked unless Deez is tricking you. He might be.
No. Deez is one of the like the most stand up, like trustworthy people I've met. You. Like he's sold me stuff before. Like I trust that guy more than anything.
More than me?
No, I trust you. I trust you completely.
Yeah, but more than D's or less than D's?
I get. Oh fuck! Like, you're putting me on the spot here. I guess I trust you more than D's because
no, that's the wrong answer. That's the wrong answer.
No, but like D's is like one of those people. Like I've sent him like ETH without like just straight to him, and then I like walked away, and like 20 minutes later, I was like, oh, he sent me the art. Like I wasn't even worried. Like,
dude, it's so cool. Like I've done that. Like I know we're dragging on here, but like, with my cartoon penis, like I got that bid accepted. Like I put in a bid for a rare peen for the Genesis rare peen.
Oh yeah, and they got accepted for 1 Ethereum, right?
I put in a bid for one Ethereum like in February. Uh, and I got accepted because I was putting in. I'd transferred. I'd like wrapped some ETH for bidding
Oh,
on
so
eight.
it got accepted. You didn't know. You wrapped some ETH, and the
Yes.
second it hit your wallet, it disappeared.
Well, so I think when I wrapped it, that's when the guy got a notification like, "Hey, there's a bid, on your
Oh.
rare peen." It was like he must have been like, "What fucking moron is gonna?" He's like, I'll accept that, sure." But then
Some fucking idiot.
it's so weird how that works. But like, I don't know. Like, I wish I would make it more apparent,
Yeah.
like what your outstanding bids are. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. Yeah, he sent it all back, and then Rare Peens sent me their commission back too, which is awesome.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, there's like, is shady and scammy as this space can be. Like, I found that when you actually interact with people, it's been nothing but pleasant and trustworthy. Granted, you gotta like, have your stinks up and like kind of trust your gut. But like,
Yeah.
when I've trusted my gut, I've never gone bad. Even with like Top Shot, I was making when I started doing Top Shot, I was like sending people PayPal for a LeBron, no look 3.
Right.
We go over Venmo or something. I never knew these people. We're just interacting on Discord.
Right.
Kind of just based on
Like you
how
would
that
never do
interaction.
that. Like you met a guy at a bar and you're like, he was like,
Yeah.
hey, I like just Venmo me. You would never do that like with over $10.
Yeah. But this was like, I think I probably spent, I don't know, like $2,000 maybe, which was like half of what I spent in total on Top Shot off market, like through these just anonymous deals and just kind of going based on gut. It worked out for me. But
That's good. That's good. Yeah, so many people have been scammed, but there are definitely good people in the community, which is nice. But yeah, man. Well, dude, we went for like an hour and a half. This is fun.
yeah, it was a good
Uh,
time.
and I'm glad we got the talk for so much. And I think this will be a regular thing. We'll definitely get more people in here. I know I'm gonna chirp at our anonymous guest who didn't join and tell them
I'm so curious who that is.
I'll tell you one day, or I'll have them tell you to DM you.
I would prefer to wait till they actually commit. And if they never do, then I'll be fine not knowing.
It'll be our thing. I'm just gonna keep sending them, like, even if like it's you, me, and like we get like if we get like Jimmy in here, like somebody else, and like we're doing it, I'll just keep sending that anonymous guest, be like, hey, like join whenever. Like
Yeah.
they'll just pop in one day and I'll be like, here you go.
Yeah.
So all right, man. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
I
thanks for
had a
having
really
me.
fun time, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
I'm gonna go probably go poo maybe, and then join the apes Discord party.
Amen, man. Well, that sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
All right, man. Well, thank you.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.